types of mesh. So I wanted to show you that it's perfectly fine to do 3 different types. This is the Jute Deco mesh, jute burlap. This right here is basket weave deco mesh, and this is fabric mesh. All of these do fine outside, so I'm going to open them up, and I want to do this a little bit differently. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these two, I'm going to set them aside right now, and we're going to take this one, and we are going to cut 10 30-inch ruffles with this. Okay? So I'll just use my mat here. I'm going to get a clean edge. It's always best to do that because then you get a nice clean measurement. Okay? And I'm going to cut 10 of these because that is how many is on the bottom of our wreath. So I'm not going to make you watch me do all of those, but I wanted to show you that. Okay, so what we're going to do for these two is we're going to cut this yellow at 30 inches, and we're going to cut 8 of these. Okay, so every 30 inches. Alright. There we go. I'll cut the rest off camera, but I wanted to show you what I'm going to do. Now this, I don't have nearly as much. I only have 5 yards, and this is a very kind of bright color, so I really want to just have a little bit of it showing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it every 15 inches. So all right. And I want to have 8 of these. So, alright, so I will cut all of these up, and then when I come back, we will start putting them on the wreath. Okay, so I've gotten all these cut, so we can get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the ties on our wreath form. There we go. Cut the tag off. It's just a little easier if you do this, because then you don't have to try to do it while you're working on your wreath. So I'm only going to open up the bottom, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to do a ruffle with it. So I lay it flat on the table and run my fingers up right through the center. Just like that. So once I get my ruffle, kind of looks like a bow tie, I will just place it down. And tie it off one time. Okay? Then I'm going to spread it out, and I'm going to get my next one. So I'm just going to do this same process over and over all the way around. Now, if you have trouble making ruffles, there are a few different ways that you can do it. And on the next one, I'll show you that. So, place it down, tie it off one time, fluff both sides out. It's a good idea to fluff it against the one that was before it. What that does is that covers that base. Alright, so let's look at another way to do a ruffle. So we're going to do the exact same thing, except this time I'm going to put something heavy on the mesh. And what that does is it helps you to control the mesh a little bit easier. So you can just put something heavy on there, and you just keep doing the same thing, just like this. You're kind of moving your heavy object as you go. So cell phones work great for this. There we go. So if you're having trouble with your ruffles going like this, this is a great way to do it. Okay, let's put it down. Alright, tie it off one good time. Fluff it out. And fluff it against the ruffle before it. So if you want to practice your ruffles, using this jute mesh is actually a really good way to do it, because this is a little bit stiffer than the regular deco mesh. It is a little bit easier to do a ruffle with. So if you're struggling, I would start out with something like this. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the bow dabra. So you can get these at Walmart, Amazon, any craft store, and they're very inexpensive and they are very handy. You can use them for a lot of things. But what I do is I lay the bow dabra on its side, just like this, and I put my mesh, find the center and put your mesh right in the bow dabra, okay? So you see how the mesh is going in between those little pieces, and then you're just going to pull it down and push it into the bow dabra, just like this. So if you have trouble with your hands, this is a great way to do it. Push it all the way down and then grab it and pull it back out. So you're going to have a ruffle, just like if you did it on your table. Okay, so that's the second way. Put it down, fluff it out. Okay, so that's two different ways, well, three different ways really that you can do your ruffle. So we're just going to keep doing this. And the goal of what I'm doing is to try to make this look like a sunflower. So, there we go. Alright, so I just keep going up the center, pulling it towards me. I have my thumbs back here. Then fluff it out like that, and then just keep going. So we're going to go all the way around like this. Like that. Okay. Place it down. Tie it off one time. Alright. There we go. Okay. So we just have a couple more left. 3 more actually. And then we can move on to the top. Alright, so spread them out. fluff the two sides together. There we go. Alright, last one on the bottom. Okay, so we'll put this last one down. And then we're going to fluff out both sides. So put it down, pull out both sides, and fluff it out. So you see how well it covers even just with one layer on. Okay, so now we're ready to move on to the second phase since we have all of our brown on. I have all of the yellow and the orange and yellow cut and ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to do this a little bit differently because there's a specific look I want to get. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this orange and yellow, and remember I cut these at 15 inches, and I'm going to go right up through the center, and I'm going to make a ruffle. Now remember, this is also wider than this. That's why this is going to work. So I'm going to open up my tie, place it down. I'm just going to tie it off one time, and then I'm going to open up the rest of my ties. And we're doing the top. Okay. Whoop, that one only has one tie. We'll fix that. Okay. So if you ever get a work wreath and you only have one tie, what you can do is just take a pipe cleaner and put it right where that tie is. Okay? And tie it around. And then when you get to this tie, you can use that pipe cleaner and you can put this over the top of it so that you can't tell. Unless you don't care if you can tell. But if you want to hide that fact, that's what you can do. Okay? So I'm going to put ruffles on every one of these using this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this yellow and we're going to go on top of it. So we cut this one at 30 inches, this one at 15. And there was a reason that we did that. Alright, so I'm going to go open my tie back up. I'm going to place this one down and I'm going to tie it back off. Okay, so you see the look that we're getting here? So we have our brown, we have our orange, and we have our yellow. It is slightly opposite of the sunflower because generally the brown is in the center, but I didn't want the brown to be at the top. But if you look, there's a little bit of orange down here. So we have a little orange sticking out, but I don't want that to be the focus. I don't want this orange and yellow to be the focus. But I want you to be able to see it, and it works out because it's a little bit larger. Alright, so we're just going to do this all the way around. So, do this one into a ruffle, like that. Okay. Place it down. Okay. And you are going to want to ruffle it against the one before it. And then take your yellow, do this ruffle. And we're getting a layered look. So this is a little different. Something fun and different to do. Okay. So put this one down. And you want to ruffle this one as well. Okay. So see what's going to happen is you're going to get especially since this fabric mesh is a little bit thinner, you're going to get little splashes of that orange. And that's the way a sunflower looks. So if you see up close, see there's a little bit of orange down there, and then there's the yellow. And that is going to make a perfect base for our flowers. So I'm just going to keep doing this. I'm going to show you one more, and then I'll go off and finish this part, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. And I'm just going to ruffle right up the center. Okay. Place it down. Okay. Ruffle it out against the one before it. See, and I don't want the orange and yellow to take over, so I cut it shorter. We have 15 inches on that as opposed to 30. Okay. And then we would do a ruffle with our yellow. Okay. Open our tie back up and place it down. There we go. Now we ruffle this out like that. Alright, so I am going to go and finish this part, and then when I get back, I will show you the ribbons we're going to use, and then we're going to cut and put some of our sunflowers on. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so this part is done. Isn't that cool? How it kind of mimics a flower. I like that. Okay, so this is the ribbon I want to use. So I showed you this in the beginning. So what we're going to do, okay, is I'm going to take this ribbon along with this ribbon and this ribbon. So we're going to use 3 ribbons. Alright. We're going to cut them. Once again, we're going to do something a little different. So we're going to cut them 14 inches on the bottom and 12 inches on the top. So the reason I want to do that is because I don't want to cover up all of the beauty that's in the center. So I'm just going to take my little 7-inch board, and I am going to make my ribbon streamers. We are going to put them in every tie, but it is going to be slightly different, right? So I will do 14-inch pieces. I will do enough for 10, so I need 20 of these at 14-inch. Because there's 2 ribbons, and then I will need 16 at the smaller size. So this is my 6-inch piece of board, and I'm going to cut some of these. Okay. Oops. All right. So wrapping it around a 6-inch board, then I have a 12-inch ribbon. And wrapping it around the 7-inch board, I have a 14-inch. So you can see the difference. Okay, and I do like to take them, fold them over like this, and cut away from myself to get that nice little edge detail. Not necessary, it just gives it a nice finished look. Okay, same thing on the other side. Okay, so I will go and cut all my ribbons, and then when I get back, we'll start putting them on our wreath. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I have all my ribbons cut. And what I did is I put the sunflower ribbon in every one, and I just alternated the yellow with the white polka dots and the tan with the white polka dots. So I have the 14-inch here, and I'm going to find the center, go down, put it in my tie, and then I'm going to tie it off 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just going to spread my ribbons out like that so you can see them. Okay. So same thing, find the center, pinch in the middle. You can either open your tie back up or put it right on top. Then make sure you tie it off 3 times. Okay. And then do the same thing. Just spread them out. There we go. So I'm going to keep doing this all the way around. Okay. Okay. I am using wired ribbon. It really is a lot easier if you use wired ribbon. If you can't find wired ribbon or you can't get it, you can take regular ribbon and spray a little starch on it and let it dry, and it does help. The problem with ribbon that's not wired is that when you put it up and then get it back out, it's difficult to get the ribbons to go back where you want them to go. So I did get this ribbon at Craft Outlet, so you should be able to find it. Now I get mine from my supplier because I get it in much larger quantities, but you can get it in the smaller quantities at Craft Outlet. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go and put all these in so you don't have to watch me do them all. And then when I come back, we'll put the ribbons in the top, and then we're going to add some sunflowers. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I have the bottom done. So you can see all the ribbons on the bottom, but you can still see some of the brown down there. And now we're going to take our ribbons, find the center, and do the top. So for the top, I'm just going to put them down, tie this off 3 times, and I want to leave this brown showing. So the reason I want to leave this brown showing is because it helps to create that center that I'm looking for. Okay? Alright, so I'm just going to keep finding the center, putting it down, tying it off 3 times, and then I'm going to spread out my ribbon, just like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our flowers here, and we're going to push the greenery up. We're going to trim it off. Of course, these all have wire in them, and what we're going to do is we're going to place it right inside where these ribbons are. So you see how that looks? See, that's really cute. And the reason I did the ribbons shorter up here is because I don't want to cover up seeing some of this orange and yellow. So I'm going to keep putting the ribbons on the top, And then when I get back, we will get these ready and put these on. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I've gotten them all in. Put this up a little bit here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take these, and I like to just push the leaves up and then cut it, oh, you want a couple inches. Okay. This one even has a cute little flower. We're going to leave that there. Okay. Alright. So these should easily push up. You can get sunflowers like this from Hobby Lobby. Okay. I definitely want to get the ones that have this cute little extra flower on them, because they're just a little different. Okay. Alright. So what I like to do is I like to make a little hook in it. Like this. And I'm going to hook it inside of these little ties. And I'm also going to put some hot glue on it. But you see how cute it looks with a little bit of leaf on it? So what I do is I'll take my hot glue gun and I will put some glue around the leaves. And then I'll take this and I will scoop it right inside. And then it's kind of doubly secured. Okay, make sure that my ribbons are pulled out well. Okay, I'm going to do like every other one. Okay, I'm going to use one with one of these little flowers in it. And I will go back in just a couple minutes once I'm pretty sure that the glue has set, and just make sure that I don't need to add any more glue. So I always come back and make sure. Now, if you're doing a wreath like this, or really any wreath, and you have little glue strings, just put your hair dryer on it lightly, and it should take those strings right away. Okay, so again, just put some glue on it. Okay, and then take that little hook and hook it inside your tie. That just kind of helps hold it still while the glue is doing its thing. Okay, I'm going to use another one with these little flowers on it. Okay. And be careful when you're doing this that you don't get yourself, because it's so easy to do. You see how cute that looks? Alright, so we're going to put some on the bottom too. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put some glue all around these leaves. I'm going to put it right in and make sure it has a place to glue down. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to alternate the ones on the bottom. Okay. Okay, so make my little hook. Oh, that's way more than I need. See my little hook? Alright, so every other one. So this one doesn't need one. This one does. So, glue around it. Hook it in. And then push it down to make sure it has a good grip on that tie. And I tell you, that is one great thing about work grease. So these ties are much thicker than when you use pipe cleaners, and it really gives you a lot more to grip onto. So when you're gluing things down, it does help. Okay. All right. Almost done, and as I'm going, I am tucking in my ties. It really helps to make sure they're not going to come loose later. All right, I think this is the last one. So all right. So now you can see what it looks like. See how pretty that is? Now, okay, so there's a couple of things you can do. You can leave it like it is. You can put, whoops, a welcome sign on it. Of course, you'd want to paint it, but I think that looks really cute. I would probably paint it yellow. You could also get your initial and put your initial painted in the center. But I really like it just like it is. And this is really what my customer requested. So I hope you enjoyed this. You'll have to let me know what you thought. And if you make something like this, make sure to come over and post it on my Facebook page. I love to see what y'all have done. So y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.